But here's the magic. Even though he may not fully understand why, but being around you makes him feel calm. It makes him feel peaceful and even joyful. Your presence feels like a safe haven, a place where he can actually relax and be himself. It's this soft, welcoming essence that makes him want to be near you, to experience sort of that feeling of comfort and even happiness again and again and again. You will turn into his addiction. Hello, my beautiful ladies. Welcome. It's Cynthia again, your go-to dating and relationship coach, specializing in the magic of feminine energy. So today I've got something incredibly special lined up for you. Do you want to know the secret to captivating a man with your feminine energy? Well, you're going to be in luck today because I'm going to spill the beans on how to unleash your softer side and drive him absolutely wild. Have you ever wondered how to make a man not just pursue you, but feel utterly captivated by your presence? Well, ladies, I've got the secrets to make him crave your company, feel at ease around you, and be driven to chase after you with an unstoppable passion. Trust me, he won't even know what hit him. He'll just know that he cannot get enough of you. Whether you're navigating the dating scene or you're deep in a committed relationship, I have a treasure trove today of techniques that I'm going to share with you. And some of them are on my website, which I dive into depths about this. But it's all from mastering the art of body language to definitely handling conflicts and even arguments, right? I've got you covered with practical tips that you can start using today on my website. And here's the cherry on top for today's video. I want you to stick around until the end because I'll be answering some of your most popular questions that have been coming up. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell just to make sure that you stay updated on my latest insights. I can't wait to show you how to ignite that spark and drive your guy wild right here, right now. So let me break down this concept in simpler terms as much as possible. I want you to think of yourself as having two layers. You have an outer layer and then you have an inner core. Your inner core is like that anchor. It represents your inner strength, your stability, and your reliability. Just like an anchor keeps a ship steady in rough waters, right? Your inner core helps you to stay grounded and true to yourself. It's where you know your values, your boundaries, and when to stand firm or even to say no. Now, I want us to jump into the outer layer. This is where you project that softness, right? When you interact with men, or anyone for that matter, really, I mean, it works in any situation, you want to exude that warmth, that gentleness, and that approachability. This soft exterior has a powerful effect on people, especially men, right? It draws them in, it makes them want to know more about you and make the man that you're interested in actually want to pursue and chase after you. But here's the magic. Even though he may not fully understand why, but being around you makes him feel calm. It makes him feel peaceful and even joyful. Your presence feels like a safe haven, a place where he can actually relax and be himself. It's this soft, welcoming essence that makes him want to be near you, to experience sort of that feeling of comfort and even happiness again and again and again. You will turn into his addiction, all right? But first, I want to talk about what powerful women are. If you're watching this video and you're already subscribed to this channel, chances are you're a strong, capable woman. Most of my viewers fit this description. They're ambitious and successful, often balancing thriving careers with running their households as smoothly as possible, of course. You may have had a strong father figure or maybe even a mother figure growing up, and you likely resonated more with one over the other, inheriting some traits associated with their energies, right? However, while this may drive, efficiency, right, and it might serve you well in certain aspects of life, they can sometimes clash, especially with a romantic partner, especially a man who naturally embodies that sort of masculine energy. Being too direct or assertive can inadvertently push him away. That's where I come in. I'm here to show you how to maintain your strength and independence while also embracing a softer approach, right, that will draw people closer to you rather than pushing them away, all right? So the first one we're going to talk about is intimidating behaviors. Now, what do I mean? Sometimes these intimidating behaviors can actually sneak into your interactions without you even realizing it, quite frankly. These small but seemingly harmless actions can actually push a man away. Instead of feeling drawn, right, to kind of claim you as his own, he might actually feel the need to pull back and ask for space. This can lead to a situation where you inadvertently distance him and you start blending in with his male friends, believe it or not. For instance, imagine you engage in playful banter with him, exchanging those witty remarks and having a great time laughing together. While it may seem it may seem harmless, right? It's kind of like that harmless fun. If you do it too often, however, you kind of unintentionally blur the lines and you become just another one of his buddies. What this does in turn is that it can create a barrier of intimidation around you, believe it or not, making it difficult for him to actually break through and connect with your softer, more vulnerable side. Some of you watching are close friends and family who have been with me through thick and thin as I've pursued my passions, including my previous long-standing interest and career in cybersecurity, right? And now with feminine energy. Even though I've spent over 2 decades in the cybersecurity field, my journey with feminine energy has been just as endearing. Interestingly, as I delve deeper into understanding feminine energy, I found that integrating its principles into my work life brought me even greater success. However, there was one moment that I can remember in my professional career where I was leading a team where I actually realized that I hadn't fully embraced this aspect of myself, not fully just yet. I've always prided myself on my assertiveness, my decisiveness, and leadership skills, right? Being in control, making those tough decisions and calls, and even earning respect from my colleagues were second nature to me. But amidst the demands of my career, I often neglected that softer, more empathetic side of myself. So one day, a longtime employee, let's call him Alex for the sake of this video, he reached out to me during a difficult time in his personal life. He was going through a painful divorce and needed some time to talk, right? But he also wanted to warn me that his productivity might actually suffer a little bit. We were working on a very important client project. So initially, I struggled to respond appropriately. Instead of offering that immediate support and empathy, I actually defaulted to my usual mode of problem solving and rationality. And then as Alex was opening up about his emotions, right, I found myself feeling incredibly uneasy with the intensity of the conversation. I was more comfortable, believe it or not, in maintaining a professional distance rather than delving into those deeper emotional waters, right? Unknowingly, my detached approach was actually pushing Alex away and kind of, reinforcing those barriers between us. Recognizing this, I actually realized that I needed to embrace my feminine side to support him, right? I understood that balancing my assertiveness with compassion was incredibly crucial. I made a conscious effort to connect with him on a more empathetic level, offering the understanding and even the support that he absolutely needed at that time. In doing so, I tapped into qualities like compassion, empathy, and nurturing, which strengthen our bond. Alex later expressed his gratitude and emphasized that my support meant the whole world to him at that time, not just as his boss, but as a colleague that he respected. This experience taught me the importance of being an anchor for others, right? While still being true to myself. It showed me that I could effectively lead and support others by embracing both my assertiveness and my compassionate sides, right? Now, another thing for you guys to keep in mind is when it comes to dating, especially in the early stages of getting to know someone, you might feel the pressure to impress or even show off your best qualities. However, this focus on showcasing your strengths can sometimes prevent you from being truly open and vulnerable. Instead, you might unintentionally give off an intimidating vibe, right? Making it harder for the man to connect with you on a deeper level. So rather than trying to be overly witty, quirky, or even smart, right? Which there's nothing wrong with being intelligent, believe me, but it is important to focus the energy, right, on being receptive and genuine. This doesn't mean that you can't be yourself or share funny anecdotes. I think it's powerful. But it's about being authentic in the moment rather than seeking a specific reaction from the man. To achieve this, self-awareness is absolutely going to be key. By learning to observe and understand your own behavior, you can actually start to regain control over how you present yourself. This shift isn't about drastically changing who you are, okay? We don't want to change who you are, but instead we want to tap into that more feminine energy side that involves being present, right? Empathetic as well, and even open-hearted. By letting down your guard and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, you create an opportunity for the man to see the real you and develop a deeper connection. It's this authenticity and openness that ultimately fosters that love and connection in relationships. Believe it or not, when we are behaving in this sort of masculine energy way, it's kind of like we're guarding ourselves, right? I also want to talk about another aspect that kind of relates to this, which is getting into our own heads. I want to give you another scenario where we might unintentionally push men away without even realizing it. When we're around someone we're interested in, we might start kind of doubting ourselves and overthinking things like, does he like me? What if he doesn't? This tendency to sort of overanalyze can actually cause us to retreat into our heads and lose touch with our vulnerability and our softness. Instead of letting our natural shyness kind of show, we might try to appear more confident or reserved, right? However, being shy can actually be endearing, especially to a masculine man who appreciates feminine qualities. It's important to embrace our natural selves rather than trying to fit into a certain mold. So, instead of worrying about whether he likes us or not, right, we should let our natural shyness just shine through. This can be attractive to the right kind of man who's confident in his masculinity. It's okay to feel shy or even hesitant around someone we like. In fact, it can be a positive trait that actually draws the right kind of attention. So, instead of trying to hide our shyness, we should embrace it as part of our authentic selves. To show a man that you're interested, you can actually use body language cues, but it's also important to let your shyness and softness shine through, all right? Men often find our vulnerable, gentle side appealing, believe it or not, because it makes them feel protective and even connected to us, okay? It's essential to embrace your true self, including your shy and soft qualities. Don't feel ever pressured to conform to a specific personality type or energy. Instead, be authentic and let your natural charm shine, and that includes that shyness, all right? Sometimes when we're around someone we like, we might feel a little nervous and maybe start talking nonstop, but it's important to find a balance. Instead of overwhelming him with chatter, I want you to try to approach interactions with a calm and deliberate energy. This allows your true essence to just flow naturally. Tapping into your body to access your feminine energy can be an incredibly powerful way to actually enhance your interactions with anybody, really, but especially men. We're going to talk about body awareness, experimentation, breath work, body language, self-awareness, presence, and self-care, all right? As it relates to body awareness, I want you to pay attention to how you feel in your body when you're around men. Do you notice any tension, discomfort, or even ease, right? Being aware of these sensations can help you understand your energy that you're currently embodying. As it relates to experimentation, I want you to experiment with shifting between different strategies and observing how each one of them feels. Try embodying more masculine energy by being assertive, goal-oriented, and maybe analytical. Then switch to more feminine energy by embracing receptivity, intuition, and emotional expression. Notice which energy ends up feeling more natural and comfortable for you. Next, I want us to talk about breath work. Deep breathing is a powerful tool for connecting with your body and shifting your energy. I want you to take slow, deep breaths, allowing your breath to fill your belly and chest. With each exhale, release any tension or stress that you may be holding on to inadvertently. This can help you relax and access your feminine essence. Next up, I want to talk about body language. I want you to pay attention to your body language and how it reflects your energy. I want you to stand tall with an open posture, right? Putting your hands to your side, making sure your spine is straight, not too much, right? Without overarching, but just enough to sort of convey that body confidence and receptivity. That means not crossing your arms in front of you or slouching, right? I want you to instead just relax your shoulders and soften your facial expressions, right? And then sort of, get tapped into that more inviting nature, right? Sensory awareness. Let's talk about that one as well. I want you to sort of think of yourself in the moment. Notice the sights, the sounds, the textures around you, etc. Right? Now, to be clear, that doesn't mean that you do these exercises during the day, for example, right? But rather before a date, right? Just to kind of help you relax and tap into your feminine essence. Engaging your senses can help you stay grounded in your body and prevent you from getting lost in your thoughts, in your head, right? We want to stay away from here, which is that sort of masculine energy, to be honest with you. We're going to need this sometimes, but not in this moment. Also, I want you to practice presence, being fully present in your interactions with these men, right? Or people in general. Instead of getting lost in your, worries about the future, I want you to focus on the now. Listen attentively to what the other person is saying and respond authentically from your heart, all right? And the last one is, self-care. Taking care of your body is essential. I want you to prioritize that self-care, such as massages, yoga, dancing, or spending time in nature. These activities can help you feel more connected and grounded to your body and cultivate a sense of inner balance and even harmony. Now, here's an important tip I want to share with you about tapping into your feminine energy. I want you to imagine your mind as being upstairs in a space filled with masculine energy. It's all about thinking, planning, and analyzing every detail, right? This can lead to a sort of like busy, hectic mindset where you're constantly assessing whether he likes you, if you look attractive enough today, or if he's talking to other girls. It's that sort of busy bee energy that is not typically attractive to a masculine man. However, this isn't where your feminine essence resides. To connect with your feminine energy, you need to drop down into your body. I want you to start by taking a few slow, deep breaths. And allow yourself to sink into your physical presence. Focus on the area between your hips, okay? Letting it widen and create that sort of space. I want you to feel the emptiness and breathe into it. Okay? You can also release tension by raising and dropping your shoulders or giving yourself a little wiggle. Kind of just shake it off. Any sort of nervous energy that you might have. In fact, exercising before a date can help you release even more tension. This is an approach that I actually mentioned in some of my dating videos. So if you haven't already seen those, feel free to check out my playlist called Dating Tips on my YouTube channel. All right. Now let's talk about those mundane everyday talks is another topic and another thing that I want to address here. So this situation is very common in both relationships and dating. The topic of work comes up. Okay. I get it. If you're on a date, your partner might ask about your job, prompting you to launch into a detailed description of your career. This tendency to talk about I would say maybe not extensively, but maybe just a light shift into, that sort of work mode is more of that masculine zone. It's characterized by thinking and doing and problem solving, right? Even though he might be impressed by your ability to move up the ranks at work and actually be like a senior director or senior manager or whatever you are, right? It's really important for you to keep things simple and short. Similarly, when your husband or your boyfriend asks about your day and you dive into, sort of like what happened at work, right? Those kinds of things and conversations are about masculine energy, and it is no way conveying that feminine essence, right? Or your feelings about something, which is what you should be doing that happened at work. This sort of business objective mindset doesn't foster a deep emotional connection with him or even invite him into your heart space, into your body, which he doesn't realize he truly needs from you. I want you to picture a typical day for a guy. He's immersed in a world filled with traits like assertiveness, competition, and even logic where it's sort of that work, hanging out with pals or even, what he watches or listens to on the radio, right? This is what we often call masculine energy. But when he returns to his partner or interacts with a woman just generally in his personal life, he encounters a different vibe entirely, feminine energy. This is all about that warmth, nurturing, and deep emotions, which stands out starkly from the masculine energy that he's been surrounded by all day. So if he comes home to you and you're in your masculine energy, he's not going to feel like he's coming home to his safe haven, right? But this switch in that energy kind of takes him out of that chaoticness, right? That kindness, the tenderness, the understanding that a woman brings can actually offer that much needed break from that he needs from that hustle and bustle of daily life. When a woman naturally embodies her feminine energy, she becomes a standing out presence in the man's day. Her authenticity becomes a source of that comfort and even support, right? Making him feel seen, valued, and cherished in a way that's truly special to the relationship. By embracing your feminine energy, you have the power to deeply influence the man in your life. You become more than just a partner. You become a guiding light, bringing positivity and warmth into his everyday experiences. He will be so captivated by the way that he feels around you that he won't even be able to get enough of it. And he'll want to plan more dates with you just to be around that sort of energy. I recommend spacing it out a bit, of course, but you definitely want to grace him with this sort of energy periodically. In a lot of relationships that I've witnessed, conversations often revolve around day-to-day tasks and responsibilities like, dropping off the kids at school or discussing household repairs. These are what I call everyday talks, right? Where you're mainly focusing on the practical aspects of life, which is fine, right? But instead of getting stuck in these routine discussions, I encourage you to aim for deeper connections with your partner. Rather than sharing your struggles or frustrations, I want you to try to cultivate a warm and loving bond. Shift your focus towards sharing your feelings and experiences from the day, like the sweetness of that honey that flows between the two of you. This can ultimately help to strengthen your relationship and create a more meaningful connection between the two of you, believe it or not. All right. And I get it. I have ladies that constantly ask me, well, but Cynthia, what if I really did have a rough day? Shouldn't my partner be there for me? Of course, my sweethearts, but you should be able to talk to your partner about your tough day. But it's important to remember that it's not to, essentially, let's not get stuck there. You need to remember that by conveying your tough day, you will also inspire action from the man after he's already been in action all day long, right? Because he will be fully tapped into his masculine energy at the end of the day. And he's going to want to help you solve your difficulties. And even though that sounds pleasing at first, it's important to convey to him that it's sort of like a disclaimer that you give right up front, right? That you would like to share your day, but that you don't need him to fix it, but rather you just want him to listen. What this does is it'll communicate to him that he doesn't need to jump into action, because let's face it, when a man loves you, he's going to want to fix things, which is another surefire sign that he is in love with you. However, by you letting him know that he doesn't need to jump into action, you ease his tension and you help him relax by embodying your ability to share your day without activating that action-oriented nature in a masculine man, and further associating you with that sort of calming and peaceful energy, that feminine energy, that he ultimately craves throughout his day, especially after a long masculine-filled day, right? So if you've had a tough day, it's essential to learn how to seek support from other women as well in your life. Which is why I emphasize the importance of friendships. You can check out my friendship videos on my channel to learn more about the importance of friendships and even how it impacts your relationships. Also how to gain new friends and how to nurture those existing friendships, which is all part of being fully immersed in your feminine essence. So remember, it's okay to lean on your partner to build a strong and loving bond. It's okay to communicate that something went wrong and you're feeling down and in need of some sort of comfort from him, right? But it's crucial to clarify what kind of support you're seeking and whether it's reasonable to expect your partner to provide it. When you take a moment to connect with your body and identify your true needs and desires, whether it's after a stressful workday or dealing with household problems, you can better articulate what you need. This process requires practice, especially in reconnecting with your feminine energy and understanding your emotions more deeply. All right? Now, another thing to consider is if you're on a date and your partner wants to know about your job, I suggest summarizing it in 1 or 2 sentences and expressing why it's meaningful to you with enthusiasm. For example, you could say, I work as an analyst at a large tech company where I help organizations combat identity theft and secure their infrastructure. It kind of makes me feel good to know that I'm helping keep society safe from hackers. I want you to focus on the impact your job has and speak from a place of passion. If your date goes on and on about their own job, it's okay to feel bored. Feminine energy isn't about pretending or being dishonest. You're allowed to express disinterest if your date's conversation becomes tiresome. Here are a few subtle ways you can show it. Oh, yeah. All right, you get the point, right? But these are some subtle signs that I might end up showing when I'm feeling bored. If the man notices and asks if I'm bored with him, I might respond honestly saying, yeah, I'm feeling a bit bored talking about work. I'd love to focus on us instead if you don't mind. If he insists, however, that he only wants to talk about work, I might simply even acknowledge his preference with a disappointed, okay. It's that simple, right? But it's important to consider whether you want to be with someone who actually only wants to talk about work in the long run. Is that all he has to offer? Dates are opportunities to learn about each other, to see what your partner is like and how they react in different situations. Remember, first dates aren't always perfect. It often takes a few dates to really get to know someone. I always say sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs to find your prince. That doesn't imply kissing every guy you go on a date with, ladies. Okay. All right. Another topic that I want to jump into. This is another effective way to really capture a guy's attention and make him go crazy for you. Handle arguments in a way that catches him off guard. There was a time that I recall when I used to get tangled up in heated back and forth exchanges during disagreements. However, I have found that my most powerful technique is to simply go silent. Even if you're feeling hurt or angry, it's better to wait until you're completely calm and collected before addressing the issue with him. This pattern of sort of that back and forth arguing is what psychologists call engaging in the drama triangle. If you're not familiar with it, let me briefly explain. The drama triangle is a concept developed by psychologist Stephen Cartman in the 1960s, I believe it was, to describe dysfunctional interactions during conflicts. It involves 3 different roles. You have the victim, and I'll put them on the screen for you. We have the persecutor and the rescuer. The victim, that kind of involves that powerless or oppressed, often portraying oneself as unable to change the situation and seeking sympathy or assistance from others. The persecutor blames, criticizes, or attacks others, acting as the aggressor or even the antagonist and causing harm or distress to the victim. And then rescuers intervene to help the victim, but may inadvertently reinforce their sense of helplessness. They offer unsolicited advice, they take control of the situation, or they provide excessive support, sometimes hindering the victim's ability to take responsibility for their actions. The drama triangle shows how people can shift between these roles during conflicts without even realizing it. For example, someone might start feeling like a victim, then transition into blaming others as a persecutor. Alternatively, they may seek someone to rescue them from their distress. This cycle of interaction is seen as dysfunctional because it tends to perpetuate conflicts and prevents people from addressing the underlying issues. Breaking free from the drama triangle involves recognizing these roles and making a conscious effort to communicate and resolve conflicts in healthier ways. I'm going to dive deep into these in my masterclasses, so if you're interested, please check out my website for those masterclasses. I have some that are coming up soon too. But when it comes to communication, especially during those intense arguments, avoiding the trap of blame or even victimhood is crucial for staying rooted in feminine energy. My top technique for this, which may sound simple, but it's incredibly effective, is to go silent. Instead of jumping in with a flurry of words, just listen to your partner. Take a few deep breaths, center yourself, and give yourself time to cool down before continuing the conversation. You can even let your partner know, I need a moment before we continue. I'm feeling really upset and I need some time to gather my thoughts. Is that okay? Then step away and allow yourself to the space that you're going to need, right? Whether it's going for a walk or whatever it is. Sometimes when you're trying out this new approach, however, I want you to keep this in mind that your partner might insist on immediate resolution. This might be something new to them. They might want you to revert to your old ways of handling conflicts, for example. In these moments, it's important to stand firm in your boundary, but communicate it gently. There's no reason to get loud, okay? Let them know that you appreciate their desire to resolve things, but you need some time to process and think things through. One of my all-time favorite ways to approach a situation with men is to say, I really want to find a solution. What do you think we should do? By doing this, you're not only empowering the man to take action, but you're also opening up a conversation for finding a resolution, tapping into his masculine energy. Let him fix it. It's much more constructive than giving up or saying, it's too difficult. So instead of saying, I'm done, I quit, I can't do this anymore, I want you to try saying, I want to fix this. What do you think we should do? Often a man responds with, I don't know, what do you think we should do? It's crucial to take a moment to let the solution unfold. Ladies, try this. Look off into the distance, perhaps genuinely pondering the situation, and count silently to 40. All right? I can almost guarantee that by the time you reach the 40th count, the man will start offering suggestions to resolve the issue. Trust me on this one. Silence and patience can work wonders. These are some of my top tips for harnessing feminine energy, and I'm confident they'll be effective whether you're dating, in a relationship, or married. Okay? If you're ready to dive deeper, I offer online courses that can help you strengthen your connection with your man. I have my best-selling ebook right now, which is 100 Ways to Talk to a Man, and my latest release, which is 100 Ways to Text a Man, are great resources. The latter one includes a bonus section with tips for texting after an argument or disagreement, which I think is incredibly powerful based on this topic we just covered. Because texting really is just a valuable communication tool. Like writing a letter, right? It allows you to carefully consider your words before sending them without interruptions to what you are feeling or thinking in the moment. I will guide you through this process to help you build a strong bond with your man. On my website, you'll find masterclasses with accompanying videos and audio files to enhance your learning experience. It's a self-paced program, right? I'm also working on some new stuff as well, other masterclasses, which you'll soon see on the site. You can see that it says coming soon. You can access these tools conveniently from your computer or phone with an accompanying app that I'm also working on for easy navigation and interaction with other participants. By investing in these courses and taking them actually really seriously, you'll not only awaken your feminine goddess inside of you, but you'll also develop that subconscious thinking patterns that will benefit you for a lifetime. Learning these techniques will actually save you from scrambling to patch things up, allowing you to feel more relaxed in your feminine energy. Soft on the outside and strong as an anchor on the inside. Now, I promised you we're going to get into some Q&A. So one of the common questions that I get is, what should I do if I'm constantly worrying about whether he likes me or not? It's completely natural to have these doubts, but instead of letting them consume you, I want you to try to embrace your natural shyness. Being shy can actually be endearing, especially to a masculine man who appreciates feminine qualities. Don't try to hide your shyness, like I said in the beginning. Let it shine through authentically, okay? Be your true self. Another common question I get is, how can I let a man know that I'm interested without coming across too forward? This is where body language comes in, okay? Use body language cues to convey your interest by using the triangle method, which is looking in the eyes and then the mouth, but also allow your shyness and that softness to shine through. It's okay to embrace that shy feeling, especially in the beginning interactions with the man you're interested in. Men often find that vulnerability and that gentleness quite appealing, to be honest with you. This creates a sense of connection and a desire that he wants to protect, which further encourages his masculinity, believe it or not, and allows you to lean back in your feminine essence, all right? By going into your body and recognizing that you're a bit shy or maybe even nervous, etc., this allows you to embrace your true self, including your shy and soft qualities, and let your natural charm shine. This doesn't mean that you tell him that you're feeling nervous or shy in the moment, right? This just means that your body language should convey your shyness, especially in the beginning engagements with the man that you're interested in. You can do this little, yeah, right? You get my point. Another question that I get very commonly is, I tend to talk nonstop when I'm nervous around someone that I really like. How can I avoid overwhelming him? Well, finding a balance is key. Instead of overwhelming him with that sort of nervous chatter, I want you to approach interactions with a calm and sort of deliberate energy. Now, what do I mean by that? I want you to tap into the feminine essence, which is that sort of calm, relaxed, leaning back and soft and slower movements, and slow down how you talk and maybe even deepen your voice just a bit. You are not slouched, right? Not like this, or jittery, right? You are calm and you communicate with that sort of soft and relaxed tone and body posture, okay? Fast movements, pacing, and getting things done or moved, right, etc., are all masculine energy. And although at times it's important to tap into that masculine energy to complete tasks that we need to get done, however, when you are attempting to engage with a man, or really just anyone you want to impress for that matter, your goal should be to to speak clearly, obviously, but speak calmly, speak slowly, and with a sort of subtle gentleness and softness, truly captivating your feminine essence from your body, right? Not from your head, not from your brain. Allow your true essence to flow naturally and give yourself moments of silence to let him engage and share in the conversation. Pause. All right, another question I get is, how can I tell if my behavior is inadvertently pushing a man away? Great question. Sometimes behaviors that seem harmless can actually create distance in a relationship. For example, engaging in too much of that playful banter that I mentioned earlier, or exchanging those witty remarks in the beginning of the relationship or the situation, might unintentionally blur the lines between friends and romantic interest, right? You'll notice that with, those interactions, it'll be a little bit more casual and less romantic, right? That's your sign right there that he's pulling away. It's important to be mindful how your interactions may be perceived and to make sure that you're creating space for emotional connection and even that vulnerability in the relationship. Another question, this is the last one I'm going to cover for today, is how can I become more self-aware in my dating interactions? Being aware of what's going on inside of here, right? This is a great question too. Understanding how you come across to others when dating is absolutely crucial. I want you to take a moment to observe your behavior and how it might be perceived. Are you unintentionally coming off as intimidating because you're trying too hard to impress? This is a good indicator that you might be tapping into your masculine energy. it's important to relax, to speak at a slower pace, and use confident body language without slouching, right? Or appearing closed off. We don't want to cross our arms, right? I talked about this in one of my previous videos as well, but remember to use the triangle method for eye contact. Look at their right eye, look at their left eye, then their mouth, and do it in a very subtle way, which means not doing it too fast, right? You don't want to look like a tweaker, right? But also not doing it too slow where it actually comes off as intense, or maybe like you're kind of zoning out, right? That's just not how you want to come off. So you want to have that sort of feminine essence. The triangle method is a technique for showing interest during a conversation. It helps maintain that engagement without feeling forced. Eye contact is a powerful way to communicate interest and sincerity. Studies have shown that mutual gaze, where both people make eye contact while speaking, fosters a sense of connection. It also conveys confidence and trustworthiness, believe it or not. Shifting focus between the eyes and the mouth with the triangle method creates a natural flow to the conversation, indicating active listening. This can help to build that rapport and even improve the communication in those relationships. Additionally, subtly gazing at their lips hints at romantic interest, believe it or not. So focus on connecting with your date on a deeper level by being open-hearted and vulnerable. Embrace your natural feminine energy to foster that genuine connection and even authenticity in your relationships. All right, ladies, that's a wrap. We did a lot today, but don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Your support means the world to me. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, from the entirety of my heart, not the bottom. But I want to thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I'd love to hear from you as well in the comments below, and don't forget to check out some of my other videos and my website, which I will post actually in the description below as well of this video. So remember to live the life you love and to love the life that you live. I can't wait to chat with you all soon. God bless. Take care. Bye.